All right, ran out of steam. Lana and I were just talking about the size of this, and you would put, if you're really doing this, you would put like 1.44 million.
Yeah.
You wouldn't put 7 significant figures there. You would put 1.44 times 10 to the 6th. Do you know what I mean by that?
Is it because it's too specific?
Because there's too many significant figures. I mean, 7 significant figures is not, that denotes an accuracy which really doesn't exist. 7 significant figures is a lot of accuracy. So, anyway, but the point is it's large. It's on the magnitude. What does magnitude mean? Magnitude means base 10 magnitude. It is a magnitude of 6. It's a magnitude of 6. In other words, 10 to the 6th. Okay, so it has a magnitude of millions, not millions, millions. So it's pretty impressive, don't you think? Now, let's do this. Let us say then the number, let's say whatever half the load is, whatever it is. It could be 25, it could be 45, it could be whatever it is. Let's just call it half the load. So half load divided by cosine theta, okay, right? Divided by cosine theta equals ft. Would you say that's correct?
Yes.
Would you say that's correct?
Yep.
Okay. Then ft as cosine theta approaches 0. What does ft approach? In other words, what does that? I'm going to use orange now. I'm half Irish, so I'm half orange and half green. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Lana is so confused. Okay, so what's happening if that? All right. As this approaches 0, as that approaches 0, let's say it was 0, you would say the quotient, 1/2 the load over 0 is undefined because 0 is undefined. Infinity is undefined. So this divided by 0 is going to be infinite. And we say it's undefined. Well, it is defined. We just don't know what it is. Right? Was North and South America and Mesoamerica there before we discovered it? Of course it was. Was the concept of the wheel there before we discovered it? Of course it was. Was fire there before we discovered it? Of course it was. Was gold at Sutter's Mill before we discovered it? Of course it was. Is infinity there? Absolutely. Have we discovered it? No. Let's say that 0 can't be in the denominator because infinity is undiscovered. The undiscovered value, I like that, the undiscovered value of infinity. So, as cosine approaches infinity, as cosine theta approaches, I'm so excited. As cosine theta approaches 0, and it's in the denominator where 1/2 the load is divided by cosine theta, then the quotient, what's a quotient, numerator over denominator? The quotient is represented by ft. Would you say that's true?
Yes.
Excellent. The quotient ft approaches infinity. Is that cool? You know what that's called?
No.
That's the underpinnings of calculus. No, not really. Yeah, that's the underpinnings of calculus. You just did a calculus problem.
Okay.
That's called a limit. Limits in calculus. It's called limits. It's very confusing. When I first took calculus, I was like, I don't understand this. But that's all it is. That's the underpinnings. It's not calculus. It's the underpinnings of calculus. Okay, the whole idea of when the denominator or one thing approaches a number, what does the whole value become, etc. So, to review, as theta approaches 90, cosine theta approaches 0, 1/2 the load divided by cosine theta, and cosine theta approaches 0, ft approaches infinity. All right, you got it? Now, that's all I'm going to do. And what you'll find is that you really couldn't even, for 89.999, you really couldn't even draw. You know what, let's do it. We'll come back on the next video, and we're actually going to find what LS is given 89.999 as the angle. Okay, be right back. Okay. Have a good day.